Historically, every single technology paradigm shift of this magnitude has, as an overall, expanded the economic pie, not shrunk it. But in the near term, it creates displacement. And an example I'll give you, Devin, is when the loom, mechanical loom was invented, artisans were up in arms that it's going to put us out of business. And, our whole job was to spin these fibers into finished clothing. And now you got a machine that can do that. Well, it turned out it also expanded demand dramatically, right? So folks are buying a lot more clothing. And so, overall, it made the product cheaper and more accessible. It increased productivity for the folks working, which increased wages, which gave them more consumption power. And as a result, it fueled more demand. So historically, these types of platform shifts have been highly additive. And the reason I mentioned this notion of what the limitations are is because I think a lot of the folks who argue, these kind of alarmist arguments around, well, everyone's going to be out of work and we're going to have to give, minimum payments to everybody for being around. What they're missing is what they're doing is a classical error of overestimating what can happen in the short term and underestimating what can happen in the longer term. So and I've gone on record is, AGI has been artificial general intelligence, which is really that fear that we're nowhere close to that. And that's been 10 years out for the last 50 years. And, I don't see us getting to that because the current wave, and that's not necessary for all the things we were talking about, but it is important to understand that fundamentally, we're very optimistic about the ability to AI to create a new paradigm of how companies operate to allow them to interact with their customers better at a much more hyper-personalized level, and to automate a lot of the stuff that is drudgery, boring work, that people don't want to do, and free up those people to focus on things that actually leverage their talents. Now, in that transition, there will